Oh my goodness, I hit the wrong button. You would think I had never live streamed before. Welcome to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine, and I'm having one other technical difficulty here. There we go. Okay. We should be okay now. Welcome again to Creative Pages with Catherine. I'm Catherine. There's nothing like going live, let me tell you. We are getting ready to do all four projects from the Creative Memories 2025 October virtual crop. And this month is going to be all about the Border Maker system. I am going to be using a Border Maker cartridge on every single layout this month. It kind of was a fun creative challenge for myself, along with checking out your votes on my Creative Pages with Catherine YouTube channel. So let's get into these sketches here. Let me see if I can actually get the thing changed over the way I need to. There we go. All right, everybody, let me try one more thing here. Nope, that is not what I wanted. I'm trying to get so I can see the chat as well, but I guess it's not going to happen today. So if anybody has any comments, I will try to figure out how to check that in a bit, but let's go ahead and start with the first sketch so I don't waste any more time here at the beginning of our live stream. Sketch number one was this one. And of course, I've said every month this year, we are going to be working with Noteworthy Days, the collection that came out in January, so we can use up the stickers. Now, for this layout, I did pull in a piece I created for layout number 4. So sometimes I don't work in the order that the sketches came out in. No, shocker. So once I got back to sketch number 1, because this one was a challenge this month for me, because I'm going to show you all. This is where I'm at with the Noteworthy Days collection. I need to reorder paper and tonal paper because this is what I had to choose from this month to put together a sketch. And of course, we had our fun stickers. I am doing a little bit more in the Halloween part of it. I didn't use any clear stickers this month, but I did use the Halloween ones. But I do still have, because I always try to show you what I have left. So I have these kind of Oktoberfesty, and then I also have some October vibes, our trick or treat. So I can see maybe another Halloween layout coming, but this one is also Halloween-y, if you will. And, you know, I always do the use the sticker video later. And so that one will probably have at least 1 2-page layout. And I'm guessing at least 1 card with our breast cancer awareness. Although I might do a page because I do have the template for this as well. We'll see. Now, of course, you know, I'm looking at it. It's generating ideas, and I need to focus on where we are for today. So let me get focused here now. For this layout, I did use our Border Maker system. So in order to use our Border Maker system, you do need the paper holder as well as the punch holder. If any of you all need a demo on how to use this system, I will be happy to do that. Please leave me a comment. This is the only layout I am using retired punches on. So I have pulled out my Icicle chain punch and my ghost chain punch for this one. I just, as soon as I saw this ghosty sticker in our Noteworthy Days sticker pack, it just triggered a memory in my mind of a ghost mirror card I did a couple years ago. And this one is going to be a homage to that a bit. It's, you know, with a couple little updates, but that's where we're at with this one anyways. So let me put these away. And I think I already showed this close. I'll show it close one more time if you want to grab a screenshot where we're going with this layout. And for the base of this layout, I did use caramel cardstock on both sides I think this is my first time using the caramel. And I also went ahead and did a little bit of work because it takes a little bit of time, and I knew I'd be live streaming and I didn't want to chew up too much time putting together my mirror for this left side of the page. Now, this is completely off sketch. This is where I am. I did the right side of the page as the sketch, and then this left side I added in because I always try to do 2 pages out of the one. And this is just where it took me, and that's why I pulled in this brown shimmer circle. Like I said, you'll see the other part of it on layout number 4. But what I did was I punched 3 of our Icicle chain border maker cartridges. I took my repositionable tape, I went around, and then let me show you real close. You can see where when I was putting it down, I just went ahead, and every so often you do need to fold them in to bring it around the circle. This is a 10.2 inch circle using our circle cutter. So I don't use this one as much as I probably should. Now, if you all need a demo on this as well, please let me know, because to keep track of your blade sometimes can be a little tricky. People get confused with the white and the black numbers. So just let me know if you need a quick tool talk about the circle cutter. I would be happy to do a video for you all on that as well. And so as I went around, I folded a little bit just to get it to come around. And now here, coming in to the end here, I'm going to add at least one more. So you have to be careful with this. If you do have this border maker, you can't really fold it very well between the 2 largest icicles. I'll just go ahead and mention that because, trust me, I have tried and it did not go well for me. And so now I'm going to grab my microtip scissors if I can find them. My desk I cleared right before I went live. You all saw how well that went for me. And then I'm just going to cut off this little bit of excess because our mirror doesn't need too much overlap. Here in the bottom, you can see, if I can get it, you really can't hardly tell where that seam is. It's right here where my fingernail is. So worked out really nicely for me. The brown shimmer circle I punched with the brown shimmer for the icicles. And then I did a 9.8 inch circle also on our circle cutter out of our platinum shimmer to create my mirror. Now, let's go ahead and get a little bit of tape burner going on this. I don't know if it's going to need a little bit or maybe a little bit more, but we'll figure that out as we go along here. It should be okay. It's kind of like any other layout that you're going to stick down. And here we go. Pretty good. I'll add just a little bit more to the outside here, and then I think that's it for our tape runner. We are going to center this on our page here-ish, and I'm just kind of eyeballing it, looking. It's maybe about 3/4 of an inch all the way around. Press that down, and this is going to fit just fine in one of your pocket pages. It is going to lay flat in your scrapbook. Okay. Now we are going to add one of our noteworthy days. I know you're like, where's noteworthy days? Because I told you I was on fumes with it. So we are doing a little bit of noteworthy days, but honestly, it's mostly cardstock this month. What can I say? But I did find an embellishment that really matched well. It's the one that has that darker brown on the wagon wheel, and then we had a darker brown circle that had a couple little journal lines in it that I thought would be really fun for writing in your title about your photos that you're going to add to this page. And let me go ahead and just stick a little bit of tape runner on this. I'm going to center this on our little wagon wheel, and then place this down here in this bottom right circle. Actually, you know what? When I did it's okay. I think I went a little bit more up and to the right. So if you want to, you can offset yours, but mine's stuck down now, so I'm not going to worry about it. I have our little ghosty that I showed you at the beginning. Of course, now it's upside down. And our Happy Halloween sticker from our Noteworthy Days sticker pack. I know we are going to be doing some hide and eek in a little bit also because y'all voted for it. And again, like I said, we're kind of going to have, well, you already know there's going to be a circle because I used the other half of the circle on this one, but I really was super happy with how that layout turned out too. I don't know, just I think my creative juices were flowing this month. Okay, let's see here. We're popping these up. Let me grab the backs of these real quick. Our Happy Halloween is going into this bottom right end, and then our Ghosty is going to go above. So coming out from our bottom. And again, like I said, this isn't on any sketch, but I just thought it really helped to complete our page. And I kind of thought my little story is that these ghosts are getting pulled into our mirrors a bit. That's kind of where I started with the ghost card originally, and it just kind of, I don't know, it just adds a little fun nod with these, especially with the faces on some of these little ghosts that you get off of your ghost chain. So I don't know if I need to flip these because they're on white shimmer cardstock is what I used to punch one of our ghost chain borders. Little schmutz on that one, but that's okay. We're still going to go ahead and stuck it down because it didn't go over our mouth part. And this one is going in here. He's gotten caught in our mirror already. And I know y'all are wondering where we're going to put photos. Right in our mirror. Our photos are getting caught in the mirror. And that's just what is going to happen this time. So if you have some of those photos where you've gone to some of those like haunted hay rides or haunted house things at Halloween, this probably is going to be your go-to layout for those. Our boo is going up here in the corner along with our other ghosty with its mouth open because it is saying boo to you. It's here. There we go. All right. That is the left side of our page done and done. There you go. And now let's bring in our right side, which is probably going to look a little more familiar to you from the sketch. I did go ahead and again, I pre-stuck down my icicles along the edges. So again, it looks more like a mirror coming through our side of our page here. And just be aware, I did start about, what is that, a half inch? Looks like a full inch down on this top edge of our mats here. My brown shimmer mats, I have two of them at, what did I do? 4.5 by 6.5 from the brown shimmer. And the platinum shimmer that is on the front, I did 4.25 by 6.25. That way you can just pop on full size photos and not worry about having to trim them all at all. And we're coming in here, we're coming onto the page. Essentially, I'm lining up the top of this icicle a bit and this other top edge here. We've got the bottom edge going down here. So the bottom of our icicle pretty much runs to the bottom of the page. This one might be just a hair short, just like it's about a hair short. Up here, it's about 1/8 of an inch that you're not going to see in your full 12-inch border from the icicles. Don't worry, we're going to grab out the microchip scissors. I guess, well, that's just going to get folded into our pocket page. It's okay. So I will flip this and cut, and I'll go ahead and do it now because it just makes more sense to do that. You can put this back on your trimmer as well if you want a really straight cut, but I'm going to give it a try here. You know, there's nothing like trying these things for the first time when you're live. Okay, there's one triangle cut off here. Let's get this other one. Because of course we want this to either go on one of our album pages or into one of our pocket pages as well. Try not to cut your cardstock, just stay with your brown shimmer. It's hard because the colors are very similar. Okay, those are scraps. I am not keeping them. Back in the day I may have, but okay, there we go. And now we have 2 pieces of Noteworthy Days. Designer paper. We are using the plaid side up. And again, this is Catherine working with what she has from the paper pack. So we are going to go in about 1/4 of an inch from the right side of our page. Let me flip my zero centering ruler so I can read it a little bit easier. We do have grid lines running both horizontally and vertically with this ruler. I'm going to go 1.25 inches from the top and the bottom, and I'm going 1/4 of an inch in, and I just want this to be nice and straight because again, these are going to be my little photo mat highlights here, and I'll show you with the photo cards coming up to. I probably should grab those closer, but hey, it'll just take me a second to grab them. At least I know where they are. Coming in on this side, we have the rest of our ghosty borders, as well as our, I'm calling it a witch's hat. It could possibly, well, no, I guess because it is October. I guess it is technically supposed to be a witch's hat, but you know what? It's brown, and it fits my color scheme for this layout. So I thought, you know what? Sometimes these things just speak to me, they work out, and it is just the way it goes. Okay, this bottom one has 8 little ghosties on it, and I'm just running it underneath here. I'm going to lift up my frame and put this last one under a bit because, of course, remember our ghosties are getting kind of caught in these mirrors here. And then I have one that has 4 here as well. So when I cut out our ghosties, I was a little deliberate. A lot of times I like this little shocked guy because he's just so fun. And then the smiley face, makes more of a little Casper friendlier ghost. And then the frowny face, he's kind of unhappy about all of his friends getting pulled into these mirrors. He can't believe it's happening. So, but one of them is happy and he's going to be hanging out with the witch hat. But these other ones are just having fun checking out our layouts. And so he's up here, our smiley faced one. Our little shocked one is going to be getting dragged in to our mirror. And then our frowny face one is down here, kind of trying to get away, not getting pulled in. We'll add another foam square to our hat. And guess what? We are almost done with this. I think it did help that I went ahead and pre-did some of our sticking on this one. I did some pre-sticking on number 4 too. I'll just kind of give you all that spoiler because there's a good bit going on some of these this time. What can I say? I got my creative juices got flowing and they just wouldn't stop somehow. I am going to cut one of these smaller foam squares in half for the very top of this hat because I don't want my hat sagging on my page. Apparently, I've been using a lot of small foam squares. There we go. All right. Here we go with this. Grab those off real quick. And this one is going in, sticking to my finger, but it's going to go in up here. Kind of covering a little bit of our seam here. Let me powder tool this one because we're going to have photos going under it. If you don't know about Creative Memories powder tool, I will link it in a bit. Usually I leave the backs on before I powder tool, but that's okay. This should still stick okay. Just wanted to get the edge more than anything. Okay, how's about that? Right side of our page is done. What do y'all think? Isn't that fun? I just love those little ghosties. They're just so cute. I miss sometimes using some of our retired punches and things. Y'all will have to let me know if you want to see more ones that aren't currently on Creative Memories website. If you have these in your stash or if you have one in your stash that you want to see, leave me a comment, let me know. Okay, so there is our 2-page layout. Let me grab my photo cards. And of course, 4x6 here. You are gonna have to trim out a little bit because of the angle of the way these are coming on to our mats here. This actually should go up just a hair so that you can see a little bit more of this platinum shimmer in between to know that that's a mirror. I also did kind of anticipate, since I cut these, did I tell you what I cut these at? 1 1/4 by 4 1/2. These are 1 1/4 by 4 1/2. So you can fit a full 4x6 here and maybe a 4x4. Should we try it? Or you could probably do 2 4x4s. I think the, where did I put my sketch? It's somewhere here. I think the sketch showed 2 4x4s. So maybe that's what I was thinking. So you can easily do 2 4x4s. Or if you're willing to trim out one of your other photos a little bit more, the 4x6 will fit. You just need to adjust that. I don't think you could get away with doing it horizontally on this one. Now, with this side, you're definitely going to want some of the smaller photos, probably closer to the 3x4 range maybe, or you might be able to fit there's a 5 1/2 by 3 1/2. Maybe we could fit 3 of those. Let's try it going vertically as well. Yeah, you could do a couple just coming off of our mirror here. Let's see if I can find one more card. You guys probably don't want to just watch me dig around for these things here. Nope, wrong one. Do you want to see the third one on here? I'll find it. Here it is. Okay. You can tell how much I use this size here. Okay. Yep, you can easily layer 3 of your 3 1/2 by 5 1/2 photos here, and it'll just look like they're coming out from the mirror a bit as well. And I don't think it detracts from the mirror at all. If you want to get fancy and cut some circles out of your mats, you can. I did put out a Halloween, what was it? My spiderweb elongated frame video that just came out with the Hide and Eeek collection. It'll show you how to cut some mats using our custom cutting system, or it'll show you what they would look like on a layout. But we have lots of options that you can choose from with that collection as well. And now let me pull in our sketch one last time, and then we'll move into layout number 2. There we go. So you can see definitely right side works with the sketch. Yep, 4x4 photos there. And I did want the title up here, but I kind of stretched my titles over here. And, you know, it just kind of works, I think. Let's move on. Switch everything over again here. Layout number 2 uses our Grateful Harvest collection. How's about that? And with this one, I don't know what's going on this month. I had a bit of a another issue with this one, so chances are y'all are probably going to get another. Let me get this out of the way. Grateful Harvest layout from me coming up, because I will show you in just a moment what happened with this one. I don't know. Okay, I'm getting a glare. There we go. Now y'all can read. Quite a few mats, quite a few other. This one is a little busy. The sketch itself was a little busy. And of course, I went ahead and turned it into a 2-page layout as well. Put my right side of my page back. Oops, I'm losing stickers. Let's hope I didn't actually lose one. That to the side, and you can kind of see where we're going here, but maybe not, because I've got my stickers and mats. But did you know I only cut one? So I also did pull out our, let me get my box. Our Acorns and Leaf Chain Border Maker cartridge is the one that I'm using in this layout. This one did come out with the Grateful Harvest collection. And I used our green tonal paper for this one. It's the one with the orange plaid on the back. I just thought it really added a nice touch to our layout because we do have some green in these papers here. And I have to tell y'all, I cut up these papers because I was thinking, okay, I want my leaves to flow one way and then the other way. And then by the time I got done cutting, I fussy cut 2 sheets of paper and I wound up using 3 strips because I used the one from the middle also. And then the blue dots that are also on that page were throwing me off. So I cut out all my blue dots. So we'll be seeing some Grateful Harvest with some some use the scrap coming up here from me. But for the base of both of our pages, we are using that paper is the one with the brown kind of abstract watercolor-ish on the back. But for the base of both sides, we're going to use this wheat, just starburst. This page, let me tell you, I know they probably were thinking that everybody's going to want to use this side. No, I love this side of the page. So this is what we're using on the base of both sides. I don't know if it's just the oatmeal color, just the whole flow of the wheat. It just spoke to me. So tape runner is going on. And I hope y'all aren't upset about that. You're going to see more uses for stripes, or not stripes, but scraps. We all have scraps, right? And then this at least shows you that you can work with one 12-inch strip from the paper. So if you don't want to cut up your paper, by all means, don't cut it up. Okay. Let me start here because I have very specific notes for myself. This is a 3/4 of an inch by a 9.5 inch piece. My dots are going to the right. And I do want this centered. So let me grab out my 0 centering ruler because we are going to, oops, try to not have my paper move around my table too much. It should be around 4 3/4. Yep. Here's my center. So it winds up being, if you're at 4 3/4, it's 1 1/4 inches from the bottom and the top of the page. Now, next to it is going to go our acorns, but first, hang on, I'm going to place, I do need to get tape on that, but we're going to place our middle piece next because this one is also centered. It's about 2 inches. Which one is 2 inches from the, see, I told you I have a lot of notes on this one and I've got to make sure this one's centered here. So it should run about the 2 inches, right? Nope, it's going down. It's centered in the middle. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to. Boy, I'm doing well with knocking this thing. Okay. Let's get this way first. Okay. You know, y'all, I'm not usually this precise, but sometimes the sketch, this layout, because it is so dynamic, we'll say, you want to make sure you get your placement in the ballpark here. Anyways, let me double check my mat real quick because I think that's actually what I had, 2 inches from the bottom. Put my acorns down real quick also. This is one of those things about just making sure I'm over where I wanted to be. I didn't push that one down. And my acorns are going to the right, the stem on my acorns. It's going right next to our other one here. And again, this one is also going to be centered a bit. I'm going to eyeball this one though. It's going to be about a 1/2 inch here and a 1/2 inch there. So I see that 1/2 inch. And here we go. Let's get this trying to be straight. Okay, our acorns are a little bit smaller than our leaves. So put this over just a little bit. Okay. And I think on this layout, maybe a little bit of precision is going to matter. So let's scooch this over just a hair because there's a lot going on. And if you saw the page when it came in, there's a lot going on. Oh, darn it. Just ripped a leaf. That's okay. That's what repositionable tape is for, right? You can just tuck that back under and it'll stick down and nobody will ever know, especially not once it goes into our albums. And this one, let me double check this, what it looks like at 2 inches. So a half inch, this is 1.5, so this would be 2. Okay, yep. And so that other one is going to come down a bit more. Okay, so this one is my 2 inch from the bottom. It's good to make sure. Okay, so 2 inches from the bottom, center it. Easiest thing is using your zero centering ruler. Put that away. This one is going to go here. And be careful when you put your tape runner that you don't quite get it all the way to the edge on the bottom, because that's where we're going to be putting one of our other strips. And so that one is coming in just a moment. So I do need to make sure I am. Okay, here we go. 1.25 inches over from this one. There we go. That's what I knew. I had written myself notes for a reason here. This one is definitely a little bit more of a challenge. Okay, so 1.25 inches over. I need my 1 3/4 by 2.5. So it's going to actually come under here. Here is 1.25 inches right here. These leaves are going down. These leaves are going up. So, like I said, originally I wanted to do a pattern with the leaves. So I have my red leaves coming down. These are going up. Next ones over are coming down. And then this other one will go up as well. And then this one is going over here. We're covering that. We're not covering that. So it's just basically running next to it. Do I have a note? 1 inch from the top next to the, green leaf over, okay, that's the green leaf, okay. And it is over the stripe, so 1 inch from the top for this one. There we go, I didn't do it from the bottom, I did it from the top. Aha. So it does come down a bit, and it's just going right next to our green leaves. I actually want that up just a hair bit higher now, but I see it because we want it offset just a little bit. Bring that in. Okay, there we go. That shows the difference between sometimes trying to do it when it's not stuck down versus stuck down. So I brought it up just about 1/4 inch. This is 3/4 from the top, not a full inch. Put our other border on. And then we'll get our other mat in. This one is going this way, just along the edge. So we have these two beautiful borders this was from our laser cut borders. Coming down this left side of our page, we'll have another one on the right. They do not match. And these aren't double-sided, so you just have the one option to go with now. We used to have some double-sided ones. We have a, this is one of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats. It has the brown leaf on it, and it has our Into the Wild and our fun pumpkin wheelbarrow on the back of it. That one is coming in 1/4 inch from the top of our page. So going in really close here. 1/4 inch usually I can figure out. It's just with some of this other, because like I said with the sketch, it kind of dictated how this came together. And then we also have a fall is here. This one is one of our 4.5 by 6.5 mats. Also, I cut it in half because I liked the fall is here, and I thought it really fit this layout nicely. So again, we're going to go about 1/4 inch from the bottom. We are kind of centering it from the middle of our mat above. I guess I could pull out my ruler again to make sure it's just right, which is probably not a bad idea. So we have what, 4.5, so that should be a 2, and then there we go. Okay, so then this one is right at 1 5/8 about a quarter of an inch from the bottom, and so we have about a ½ inch in between these two, but it just so happens we have a 1 3/4 by 3/4 of an inch strip here, and that one's just going to tuck under both edges of these, and I do want to also get that centered, so let's go ahead and pull this back out. What did I do? 2 1/4 on either side, and we had 1 3/4 here, so it should be right at that 7/8 of an inch mark on either side. Okay, whew, this is one of those scrapbooking is a little bit more work this time for Catherine. Layouts. The other one is definitely more me. It's a little more fun and free flowing, and this one is a little more precise and just on it. But I think that they're both beautiful. So we have our wheat bunches stickers. And this one is coming in down here from this bottom corner. I'm just going to place it directly on the page, along with our 2 brown acorns that work together. And then we're going to have 3 leaves, kind of creating a little bit of a cluster. I wanted my orange leaf on the bottom, and then the green, and then the yellow. Okay, so let's pick up these things, pull them off of their backings. Sometimes the hardest part is just picking them back up again. So orange, green, and yellow. So orange, green, and yellow, kind of fan them out. And then we're going to add our acorns with our leaves here. Just creating a little bit of a sticker cluster. You can pop up your acorns if you want. I'm actually not going to this time. I'm going to go ahead and place it up here. A little bit further over. There we go. So coming in from this left side of our mat. That's everything for the left side of the page. I hope nobody worked up a sweat. I can assure you, thankfully, I don't think I did, but we were getting close there for a few minutes, and I still have to do the right side of this thing. So let's go ahead and bring in the right side. It's similar to the left. Ooh, here's my other leaves. I almost lost my other acorn. I'm going to put those in my tray this time, so I really don't lose those. And you can see we are going in a similar fashion. Like I said, I did follow the sketch a bit, but when you're trying to stretch it from a single page into a double, it does come with some of its challenges. So this one, I guess, was a little bit more challenging than some of the others. I'm just going to go ahead and start putting tape on things here, and we'll get this one put together. I'm going to have to pull back out the 0 centering ruler. Don't be afraid. That one's coming back out. Now, if you do have our Creative Memories, our other ruler, our blue ruler, my tape runner just ran out. If you have our blue ruler, this one, you can definitely use that as well to get your placement. I just like the 0 centering ruler because, of course, the 0's in the center, and it does help you to just get that precise, in between. Like I said, when I was coming down between those mats, I was just watching for the 0, making sure I was on either side, and I knew I got it centered right away. So it worked out perfectly for me. On this side, we are going with the yellow and orange leaves. Again, coming down through our page here, we are using that beautiful oatmeal colored wheat page again as our base. I've got my single strip I cut into pieces again. You can tell I'm super thrilled with myself for not thinking it through first, but the sketch, I don't know what it was about this month. It took me a while to get all these put together this month. I don't know if I got creatively stumped or if I don't know. I was excited I didn't think about doing the border maker thing until I got to basically that 4th one with the Noteworthy days. And I realized I'd used border makers on all of my other layouts too, so it just wound up working out, but it is what it is. Okay, this one is going this way again with our leaves coming down. This one actually wound up at 5/8 of an inch by 9.5 inches. So this was that middle section of the paper that I wound up just taking after I took so many of those ones with the that we have running through the other part of our page. 3/4, 3/4. Let's put that down here. It's hard to talk and talk at the same time and measure. I will show you what I'm talking about. So when you have this paper with the brown backing on it, it does have a series of these. Once you're, because I wanted to cut these yellow leaves with both of these stripes on either side. And so when you did that, you wound up with these purple dots, or not purple, but light blue dots in between some of them. And then you wound up getting the strip with your red and brown leaves. And also you got this little white stripe and the green, which work fine with the layout. I mean, this is almost oatmeal, matches our background. The green, we are adding the green border maker touch to, and it just kind of flows. But the blue, we'll use blue in another layout maybe for fall, but just it's not happening on this one. So that's where some of my brain was at and how I wound up getting stumped a bit. Let me put some repositionable tape on my other acorn and leaf border. Now I did trim off, I probably should have told y'all on the other side. Definitely starting to work up a sweat here. I did trim off the two end leaves. So I just kind of went with my microtip scissors on either end of the acorns because I did want the acorn on each end. We did have like another leaf and like maybe half an acorn when you punch the full 12-inch border. Please don't be stuck together. There we go. Okay. So let's get our border put down next so I don't get it stuck to anything else. And again, I want my acorns running towards this way this time. Okay, where's my zeros there? And so I have get this close. And I'm just gonna lay this on here. Because sometimes we just need to make sure. Yep, I'm at 4 1/4. Okay. 4 1/4 with the bottom of my acorns here coming out just a hair size space for my leaves this time, and I hopefully won't rip one again. I did kind of lightly stick this acorn, but it looks like I'm going to have to pick it up again. Here we go, coming down nicely. All right. Whew. Is Catherine going to survive this layout? I don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, what did I say? 1 inch from the top was with that one. This was 2 inches from the bottom and centered. So let's get our middle strip in. I'm going to do 2 inches on my ruler again. Where am I here? There's 1 inch. There's 2 inches. Okay. Making sure I get everything lined up nicely. Okay. Centered at 7/8, coming up our page. And our next one is going to 1 1/4 from which one? From this one. So we have our 1 1/4. I need to go from the bottom here. Where am I? Let me just put my zero on this left edge here, and I'm going to get this other strip in. So 4 1/4 by 10 1/4 is what these strips. I'm sorry, that was the mat. I'm sorry, 4 1/4 by 10 1/4 is this one. Our strips are all 1 3/4 inches wide. We have 2.5 inches for these pieces. You have a 3/4 inch coming off for your little bit that goes in between the mats, and then the rest of it is in the other one here, which either I have it written down or I've got to do the math, but Let me see. Okay, I'm definitely at 1 1/4. Oops. Okay, maybe I'm at 1 1/4. Maybe I'm not because I just moved the entire thing. So I'm just going to place it and double check myself here. Scooching over just a little bit. There we go. Okay, there's that. Now this one is 1 inch from the top of the page. So let's bring back on our ruler from the top at 1 inch. And we are going next to our acorns here. And so, yeah, this other one becomes a little bit offset, which is fine. That's kind of how we planned it, or how I planned it anyways. And we'll add in our last little strip in a minute. I have 2 more mats. This one has the orange leaf on it. It has our harvest blessings on the back. Isn't that sweet? And then this is the other half of the mat we used on our left side of the page. So sometimes there's a method to what we're doing here. So if it's a 4.5 by 6.5 mat, you cut it right at 3 1/4 and you get 2 really cool half mats. Okay, this one is coming again 1/4 of an inch from the bottom of the page. If I can pick it up again here. All right. Let's put our leaf going up. I don't remember how I had it before. So, and since I can't see comments right now, it's going to be what it's going to be, and I think it's going to be okay. It always seems to work out. So there we go, 1/4 inch from the top of the page. This one's coming in about 1/4 of an inch from the top. That was the bottom. This is the top. You can tell my brain's been working really hard on this layout. Make sure I get this one centered. Okay, where are we? 1 1/4 is here. 1 1/2 is here. So I'm off by a little bit. Bring it over. Okay. Come here. 1 1/2, 1 1/2. We are right here. Bring it down, bring it over. And we'll go 1/2 inch above because our little strip is 3/4, so we want to be 1/2 inch apart between the two. I'm glad that worked out for me. And then these leaves are going to go up, and I will center it again. Just give me a moment here. It is a lot, but it's good. It's worth it, I think. It comes out. Like I said, you wouldn't even know we use strips. I guess if you want to use those entire strips and don't want to dink around with the little pieces, you're still going to want to have them centered. I just figured it keeps your layout lighter in your album if you take the extra time to do this and make sure you are getting it centered nicely. Did we center the other one with the bottom mat or with the top? We did with the bottom mat. So now we're centering with this one. So we do what, 1 1/2. So this needs to be over 7/8. Oh wow, actually it's really, really close. Okay, let me just straighten that out just a hair. Bringing in my multi-purpose tool. Oops. Okay. There we go. I have 7/8 from the center of the top mat here. I think I need some water. Give me just a second. Okay. Right. Oh, no, we're not done. We still need to put our other little sticker cluster on. Okay. Oh, I was about to show you the right side before the right side was actually done. So we have our maple leaf that's an oatmeal color. We have a green and brown acorn this time because they didn't have 2 sets of 2 brown acorns. But the green works because we got the green mat over here. Orange is in back, brown is over the top of this one. Okay. So this is me on my color. This was the leaf we had from the center of that wreath that I used in my fall layout that I showed you all how to use the inks and brushes that Creative Memories came out with. So that's where that little leaf came from if you're checking your sticker sheets for some of these things. And then I'm going to add our acorn just right here. Whoops. At least I think I am. Here we go. I'll hold that up for you all. You can see our little cluster. And this is going to go in up here this time. So we could pop it up if you want to. I am not this time. Come on. Work with me. There we go. As if it wasn't enough work to get the rest of it done, right? What do y'all think? There is the right side of our layout here. Let me move all this out of the way. I'll bring in the left side and then bring back in the sketch for you. Okay, apparently I didn't press down enough to get my other mat put down. Okay, there you go. It makes a really impressive layout, I think, overall. And, you know, taking it from this single to the double. So with this one, they went tall in the middle, and then they went shorter as they went out. They had a 4x6 mat, and then they had kind of another mat here. And I went taller on the outside, and I tried to give the illusion of going shorter as you come in. So, oh boy, my things aren't lined up, are they? Well, I'll fix that later. So maybe I should have brought in my other page, but line up your borders if you want. That's up to you. Let me bring in a couple mats real quick for y'all, because I know a lot of my scrapbookers kind of like to see where I would put photos onto these pages. And here, of course, we will add photos to our 4x6 mats. I think for these, you can also go with the 4x4s if you want. You can also do your 3.5x5s or 5.5 by, yeah, I think we're going to be either the 5.5x3s going through here. You might be able to get a 4x6. Let's check it real quick. So here's a 4x6 as well. So if you move this up a little, you should be able to get a 4x6 in. I did on purpose make these mats 4.25, so that way if you did want to use your full size photos, you could. And then just maybe do a smaller one in the top. Let's see here. Let's see how 6x4, 4x6, 6x4. It would go over your mat, over your other photos, so you would have to pop that up. So you definitely want these going vertically. And so you could easily do something like this and add your 4x4 as well, because that way we can fit 2 photos on. You probably will trim your 4x6 just a hair if you want to see a little bit more of the base paper in between. But otherwise, you get a nice frame with a 4x6 and a 4x4. And then your other photos journaling here. So not as many photos as sometimes that I am able to help y'all with on some of these sketches and pages. But like I said, this one, we're given that illusion of that length coming out from our layout. And yeah, this is going to bother me. So if you see it in the virtual sketch group, I should have that fixed hopefully by then. Hopefully I'll remember. We'll see if I remember that. I may have to put myself a little note. Let me actually do that real quick. Oops, I'm losing one of my lights. That's not good. Okay, let me real quick fix acorn border, right page. Okay, done, done, and done. Okay, are we ready for layout number 3? I'm so happy so many of y'all are watching with me this morning and feeling my pain a little bit with me here. I feel like I'm like, it's for not all, but I'm of a certain age where hot flashes, can happen at any time. Maybe that's what's happening, but whew. Okay. Let me put my board aside before I was moving out my right-hand side of this thing. Let me bring in just the left side, and then that way at least there's still a little bit of surprise coming in here. Okay. Although this one does flow a little bit more through both pages, I am using our Magic of Christmas collection for this one. And I know Home Office, I think, did the same thing on their page, but mine, as you can see, I picked a completely different color palette, and I really wanted to do something not traditional red and green. So I went a little bit more gold and blue, and I brought in our navy cardstock here. And this is something that I don't know if you all remember the Joy of the World collection we had a couple years ago, had the navy accents in it. I just really liked that with Christmas somehow. So that's one of our things that we're doing. Navy's going to be the base of both sides of our page. I am using our Jingle Bell Punch on this one. In fact, I'm using the one I used in my short, my intro for the punch. So if you're curious about this punch, check out my short. I will try to remember to link it, or leave me a comment and remind me to link it if I don't. We also are using our brand new Rhythm blade for our 12-inch trimmers on this one. I just was inspired by this border sticker I found in our sticker pack, and I knew I was going to use the angels. And again, this is the one from my intro for my short that talks about the angel, and I used the gold cardstock. So gold is actually listed on your coordinating cardstocks for this Magic of Christmas collection. Navy is not. So if you want to add that to your coordinating cardstocks once you see this layout, I think you'll want to. It works nicely. Setting aside my punches. Okay. This one I feel pretty good about. Let's get this done. We are going to be building a border first. And with my border, I picked this gold dotted paper. It has the Christmas plaid on the back of it, cut with the Rhythm blade at, did I not write that down? Well, that's fun. Usually I am really good about writing everything down. Actually, I think I did write it down on this one. I didn't write it down on the my cheat sheet. Go figure. So this one I cut at 3 inches by 12 inches. And when you use our decorative blades, again, if you want a short for this, you either, if you want to have mirrored edges like I have here, you need to either flip your blade or you need to flip your paper. So just be aware of that. This is the 2.5 with the Rhythm blade as well. It's the paper with the ornaments on the back of it. It has a lighter blue with dots. So the gold has stars and this lighter blue has dots on it. And, you know, I discovered that I actually missed a couple of new cardstock colors being released somehow this year, I think, because all of a sudden I didn't have caramel, I don't know, a couple of the blues. Somehow we've had a couple of blue cardstocks come out this year as well, and somehow I missed them. We are going to add our evergreen border sticker next, going across towards the bottom. Like I said, this is the thing that inspired with the Rhythm punch. I was actually really glad we had a Rhythm punch. That goes first. Next goes our plaid scalloped edge border. And this one actually reminded me a little bit of a mantle. So we're kind of bringing this in as if we have a decorated mantle at Christmas with our green swag coming in under it. And then our angels are going to be up on this, whoops, sorry about that, the top of it. Hopefully the mic didn't pick that up as loud as it sounded for me. It's just been one of those mornings, huh? Are we sure it's not a Monday? I'm pretty sure it's Friday when I checked. Somebody may need to check in on me after I'm done with this live stream and make sure I survived it. But I guess it's better than last time where I was bleeding, so, you know. At least we're just having some small accidents this time. Let's add our golden angels border up here above our mantle a little bit, bringing in all our colors. I hope you all are having fun with me this Friday. So here's our border that we created to go through our page. And let's flip it over. Let me see if I wrote where I'm actually placing this thing on the page. This is probably going to go through the center, but let me double check, because I was not so great about writing notes for myself again. And you know what? I think this might actually go a little bit lower because we have a 4.5 by 6.5 inch mat that's going to be in the top. This is from our mat pack. It has a letter to Santa Claus on the back with that coordinating plaid, except one's diagonal, one is squarish. You could actually pull out your we had the plaid border maker cartridge a couple years ago or a year ago, or what, somebody plaid. Okay, my brain is doing weird things this morning. It's okay. 1/4 of an inch or so from the top of the page, right next to the right edge here. Now I'm going to check and see if this is going to wind up being centered. I think it's maybe because I finished designing the last one this morning, and so I'm still in creative mode a little bit. I'll just say it's that. So we should kind of be about the 1.5, but we're not. We're actually going to be at 1.25 and then 1 3/4. So it is a little bit off center by just a little bit. So we're a little bit lower on our page than not. There we go. So essentially, what did I say? So 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4 3/4 from the top of the page if you don't have the zero centering ruler. Okay, so that was helpful. And now I have another piece. If I can pick it up here, goodness. All right, 4 by 6 from the Gold Star paper that we used as the base of our border. And then this was, again, the second layer of our border. So the one with the ornaments on the back. So those are 4 by 4. And then I just saw this mat and had to cut it in half. I don't, something about a Christmas tree on the back of that one. But it has the same blue that's in this other mat up here. And it just, like I said, it just flowed. So it's what I chose. I cut this mat in half again at that 3 1/4 by 4.5. Because we have 4.5 by 6.5 mats now. And that is our only option. So Catherine is kind of struggling with the mats. Sometimes I miss my 4 by 6 mats, but that's okay. I went ahead and cut one of my own this time. Our 4 by 6 gold is going down here in this bottom corner. So it's going to have about 1/8 of an inch border around it with our navy. And then we have one of our 4 by 4 mats coming in next to it. And I'm going to be honest, I'm leaving a little space for my jingle bell to come in. So let me check the placement of that. I want to make sure my mat fits, continuing with this 1/8 of an inch margin here. And if the jingle bell goes over the mat, so be it, but I think it had just enough space. Okay, there we go. Yep. And finally, we'll put our last 4 by 4 mat up here. And this one is just going to kind of come in. We have more of a 1/2 inch border on this one. Actually, it's going to wind up actually about 1/2 inch down. And so 1/2 inch at the top and bottom and about 3/4 of an inch on each side, because this is where we're putting the one that I didn't put any tape runner on. At least I realized before I went to stick it down, right? Okay, here we go. So we're adding a little bit of an edging on this one. And I honestly, I'll say I tried it without the mat. I tried it without the other layering mat underneath. And I just loved this look so much. I was like, we're going with it. It's fine. We also had a little bit of extra greenery in our sticker packs. We're going to pop this one up. if I can figure out where I put my foam squares again here. Okay, I'm just going to pull in the new sheet. Why not? Here's that. Oh, good. I have my other half here that I can use from earlier at the top. Coming in. Oops. Come on. Work with me here. There we go. Just pull that because we're not going to put it close to any of our photos, so we don't need to use the powder this time. And I have no idea if I got that one upside down or not. I don't think I did. Here we go. Okay. Foam squares are on. Here we go with our little garland or our little swag there. Our jingle bell, I want to make sure you all know, because I don't know if I mentioned it in the short or not. I think I might have. The bow is directional. So just be aware if you're going to do some color to your bow the way I did. I cut this one from Platinum Shimmer for the bottom part, and then the top I used our dark green. And so you can just see it just works really beautifully with all the blues and greens on this page. Done. How's about that? I survived another page. Left side of this one. Let's get the right side put together. I'm going to need my trimmer for this one because I know I forgot to do one of my cuts on this one, but that's okay. We'll get there. It's going to work out. I have another one of our mats that I cut. I'll just bring it in. Okay. Set that aside. Move this over a little bit. We have mats. We have more swag. I've got another sheet of navy cardstock. Okay, let's put you into the tray because they're easier to pick up from the tray than my desk. And another one of our squares. We're going to make another border for this side that's going to match our border on our other side. And our 3-inch with the rhythm blade, our 2.5-inch also cut with the rhythm blade. I don't know why I keep knocking my housing that I have my webcam in, so I apologize if it winds up being a little bit jerky in the replay. And I just did that on the wrong side, didn't I? Okay, well, that's going to go on the page anyways. Let's make sure I get this one right. There we go. Gotta stick our border together first. It's a good thing I have my border mat out because then I can just stick this down and not worry about it sticking. So we'll put our border together on our border mat. Let's go ahead and just eyeball it to center it. It's about 1/4 inch because, like I said, 3 inches and 2.5. You've got an extra 1/2 inch, which means 1/4 inch above and below. Let's turn this so we can all see it better, especially Catherine with the way things are going this morning. And okay. Green swag going down first again. This one is going to be, so on the other end, I don't know if y'all noticed, I did put the short end of the swag to the edge of the page and the main fluff going towards the center. That's is just a little subtle trick to help draw your eye, even though we're covering up part of it. You know, our eyes are and our brains are amazing things. So just kind of one of those little nods to that. Add your plaid mantle, if you will, again, on top of there. And I'm going to flip this a minute so I can get my repositionable tape runner going onto my angels without hopefully breaking any of them. These aren't as delicate as the leaf and acorn. Those leaves have very small pieces. I mean, we've got like a little 1/4 inch maybe in our chain here with our angels, but I think the leaves on that last layout were a little bit more narrow. Okay, here we go. Let's get our angels down on our page. There's that. And now I actually do need to cut this. So I'm going to bring in my trimmer. Even though I have tape on it, I'm just going to put this on one of my extra foam square sheets that I kept. for a situation just like this. So if you keep your backings from your foam squares or from your sticker sheets even, I tend to cut up my sticker sheets a lot, so I don't keep my backs from those as much, but from the foam squares I do. And so we're gonna have 3¼ inches at the edge. So I'm gonna cut this at 3 because I don't want this making my edge of my layout super bumpy. We're gonna be covering up the edge. So no, this is actually coming in further because it reads sideways. So I'm bringing in this mat that's going to cover up the edge here. So 3¼ by 4½. So 4½ is coming so we can read it on the page. So I'm going to cut this actually at 4¼ There we go. It helps. Sometimes the math just hurts my brain, but I usually seem to figure it out. Okay. So there's that. This is going just straight on here because I put the tape on it. And that way I can use this. I think we might wind up with a bonus card for Christmas. What do you think? I will do I don't know, either a short or a video with this. What do y'all think? Let me know what you think if you want to see a card with that. I think that'll be a great use for that end of that border. And again, like I said, that way it keeps it from getting too bumpy on our page. Let me go ahead and place my 4½ by 6½ mat again. So for the mats, I've got the, I guess this is caramel now because we used it in one of the other layouts. 4½ by 6½. It has under the mistletoe on the back of it. I cut this one in half. Again, this one is from another one. It's another match. So when I cut them in half, so this one has the stars, the gold stars. And our Feeling Festive came with Merry Moments on the back of it. And I'm just going to knock some things out here with the tape runner and move things along a little for everybody. Because we still have one more layout to go, which might be my favorite one of the whole month this time. But I do love this one also. We have another 4x4 from the same blue dotted paper that we used on our border, and another 4x6 with the gold stars that we used in the bottom of our border as well. Okay, hopefully I got enough tape runner on that one. Let's set these aside and then, oops, make sure I'm straight on camera for you all, and we'll put this one in. And you know what? Maybe I'm learning. I'm going to bring this one in and we are going to match it up so I don't have that wonky thing happening that we had on our last layout. Going across our pages here about the 1/4 inch. And if now, or no, it looks more closer to an 1/8. So that way I didn't have to measure and it's not going to be, wonky on the eye going across our pages. Our border is coming in next below our mat here. Scoot this over, scoot this in, get it all lined up again here. And what did I say? This one was at 1 3/4, the other one was at about 1 1/4. Yep. We're going to go with the same placement coming across, and I probably will double check that one as well. Because again, let's make sure it lines up. Going across our page so far. Yep, we're doing great. And then go figure, Catherine didn't push down on it. Let's do that real quick. Press down, make sure we're stuck. There we go. This one has our tape on the back already. Let's do that. Let's do this. And then around the same point, we've got that 1/8 inch layering happening here. I feel like I'm ever so slightly off, so I'm going to go up just a hair there. There we go. That works better. Okay. Coming across our page here. And then this one is going down here. Apparently I had a little extra snippet, so that's going to go towards my right corner. And this one is just coming over a bit. Again, with that roughly that 1/8 of an inch margin. And our star was supposed to be in the bottom. Okay, well, there we go. That's where this is going up here. I thought something looked different. This one is going to be, I'm just going to eyeball this one coming across. Give it about a 1/2 inch from each edge here. There we go. Bottom, gold star. Okay. There we go. That looks better. Goodness, goodness. And again, it's not going to be, I mean, we could center it, I guess. Let's go ahead and bring it over again. We're centering so much else this month. Why not? And then finally, our Feeling Festive coming in over our edge here. And there's the edge. That looks pretty good. Now we have one more swag coming in from up here. And that's just going to go under our mats just a little bit. I guess I could have gone a little bit further out with my 4x4, but that's okay. And I actually need to pull that up, which you can do sometimes if you get your sticker quick and you haven't pushed down on it, because I need this to go a little bit lower. Currently I'm creating another cluster, and this is what I get for not reading my notes. We have this little blue ornament that, again, I just thought worked with our colors. And I'm going to go ahead and move this over. Let's just go ahead and do it. I'm going to put this in, and then I'm going to put my mat down. What can I say? So coming in, do we want our swag angled, or do we want our ornament angled? I don't know if we want either angled, so I need to do this more up and down. So it fits the flow, and it'll come in more narrowly in between. You can pop it up if you want. I'm not popping this one up. Here we go. Now this is going here. So about a 1/4 inch. There we go. Make sure everything is pushed down before I start moving things. How do y'all like this one? You can see we have this. That's kind of what inspired this up here. But I couldn't put it in coming in from the side, so I just went ahead and did it from the bottom instead. Bringing in our left side now. Showing these together for you all. Let's pull out some mats. I also need to show you the sketch. So I didn't go too far off the sketch. Honestly, I added an extra mat here because I thought, if we can add that extra photo, why not? And then they had a giant title box here, and instead of putting a photo here, I decided to put my title down here. So, the sketches are kind of like recipes. I know I've said it before. They're open to interpretation. They're guides. You can definitely do what you want to creatively on your pages. I just love giving you all some extra ideas of things you can do as well, and not always follow the sketches. I think the majority of the time I don't. So hopefully I don't confuse you all too much. Let's see. Yeah, that was a 4x4. So we need to go a little bit smaller on that one. We have our 3.5 by, or 5.5 by 3.5. I guess I need to work on reading things the direction they're supposed to go. So 5.5 by 3.5 there. And then you're probably going to want like 3 3/4 inch photos, but I don't know if I have I have a 3.5 here. And then this, you can do your 4x3 photo. How's about that? I actually got that one before I said it wrong. And here's another 3.5 here. So I don't usually do as many small ones, but it just seems to work. And then again, journaling here. Or if you really want, you can put another 4x3 down here, journal up here, or put photos in both places. Grab out your white jelly pen and just write on your navy cardstock. So there we go. That one is done. Whew, let's get into that last one. I'm ready. Hopefully y'all are ready too to see what I came up with for sketch number 4. This aside. And we have our final one y'all voted for was you wanted to see the Hide and Eek collection. So you are going to get to see the Hide and Eek collection again. Like I said, I did a layout last night with it. And here we are today working with it as well. And I've also did my bat cage with it. This one, like I said, I think it might be my favorite, but it also has a lot. But you know, it's not as much. I don't know. It doesn't feel as much to me as the other one that took for takes so much thought to put that together. What can I say? So I did pull in some fun things here. Here's our sketch. So you can see I really don't have any mats listed this time because I did basically a large mat. I did some freeform stuff, and I will show you all and talk you through it. It'll be okay. And I had to have turned. Okay, that was part of my issue. I know I was looking at it going, I don't think this looks right, because it wasn't. So the base of our layout is Songbird Blue. So this one I think was in our cardstock sampler for this collection. Uh-oh. I lost a sticker from the other side of the page. It's a good thing I flipped that. Even though it was accidental, it was a happy mistake or happy accident. That's what Bob Ross used to say. We're going to use the same paper that we used on my bat layout. It has these skulls on the back, and we are using both sides of this paper. I actually cut several strips from the back side, and then I created a border using our Bat and Stars Border Maker cartridge. That was half off recently. I think it has sold out now, but this one has been available, honestly, I think for a couple of years. It came out 2022. So I've used this one on quite a few layouts over the years. You can search my channel to find more of those, or I'll try to remember to link them. But if you want to see them, leave me a comment and let me know. I also pulled out my precision point adhesive for this one because we are going to use some of this one is one of our punch out border maker cartridges. And as you can see, we get all these, it's hard to see, all these really cool bats and stars. So I had to use my lifter stick to help me get some of these bats onto our page. And basically what I did was I picked it up with the lifter stick. I took my precision point adhesive, I stuck it on, and then I went boop right on my page. And you will see on the other side where I have those placed down, because I went ahead and pre-stuck them, because otherwise I think it took me maybe, I don't know, 15 minutes to get those done. But it was worth it because the page looks really cool. I also pulled out my Colonial blade for my 12-inch trimmer. Like I said, with the rhythm blade, you have to either flip your blade or flip your paper when you are using our blades that are not the straight one. And I used it on my shimmer paper that I punched my bat and stars with. So this is a 1 1/8 inch border, and I put it over a strip of brown shimmer because the brown shimmer is showing up again on the other side of the page. And I just wanted to make sure, because it didn't look right with the blue behind it, honestly, and I just thought that the brown worked. Whoops, you can see I've already got a star here. I'm gonna have to grab my lifter stick just to get that up off of that eyeball, or I guess I could pick it up and just toss it, but we're going to use the lifter stick real quick. These things are so handy. There we go. I won't make the sound effect again. Okay, so first things first. I also have our envelope and bow creator out for a reason, because I don't know if you saw, but we're going to have a bow on this side of the page as well, because the sketch just screamed bow to me. So if you don't know how to use our envelope and bow creator, leave me a comment. Let me know if you want to see a full demo of it. I know I have also used it in previous sketches, previous layouts, and have demoed it before. I know I think I've shown both envelopes and bows, but if you would like to see a more current one, please let me know and I'll be happy to put that together for you. Because I know not everybody knows how to use all of our tools, but this one is really a fun one. It's a handy one to have. Okay, so what do we have here? This is 8.5 inches by 12 inches. I'm just going ahead and putting tape runner on everything first, and then we're going to start putting our layout together. Might as well go ahead and do my border as well while I'm at it. And I did use the repositionable tape to put the white shimmer onto the brown shimmer. That's just one of those things that come in handy. You could use your precision point adhesive, but honestly, it's a little bit harder to maneuver that one. So first things first, we are going to add one of our skull strips here to the right side of our page. If I can see the top corner, that would be helpful. Let me start at the bottom here because it's easier to see. Going up and going down, especially with the blue on the blue, the color palette is it's kind of similar, but it's complementary, thankfully. Otherwise, I wouldn't have used it. Go figure. But it also goes with our eyes on our page. So our next sheet is going to come in and go right next to that. What did I say? Okay, so this first one was 3/4 of an inch by 12. So those skulls run about 3/4 of an inch on the back side of this page. And let's see. I don't know. I have a note for myself, but I am not following what I wrote to myself. So I will see if I can figure that out as we're placing down our next 3/4 of an inch by 12-inch strip on the other side. So we're essentially matching, framing we're being symmetrical with our skulls on either side of our eyes this time. And then our bats are going to go towards the right side of our page. So that's going down next to that there. And this one is, yes, I've already told you. Okay. Well, that's okay. I'm not sure what my other note meant, but that's all right. I did make a little bow because remember how I said all of our skulls and bows were 3/4 of an inch. This one is also 3/4 of an inch, but I cut it the opposite way, and I think this was a leftover from my bat page that I did, my bat cage page. And so what I did was I went ahead and I followed the instructions for the extra small bow, and it just says, paper width is 1 inch. I did 3/4 and it worked out fine. You use your notch punch and your corner punch a little bit, and you come up with this cute little bow. The little center did wrap around, I think, a little bit more because it was a little more narrow. And I did, again, adhere it with the precision point adhesive. So I have my little black end up, and you do need to watch which this paper's directional. So I made sure my eyeballs and my skulls were showing the same way, just in case somebody actually noticed. I don't think anybody's going to notice but me. And you know what? That's okay, because I like paying attention to some of those details. So now we're going to go ahead and just put a little bit of tape runner on each edge of our bow. And this is going to go over here. And we're going to leave it a little more linear coming in. And I'm putting it right above this. So there's 3 bats here at the bottom. I'm going right above that 3rd bat. from the bottom. It's running through our other skulls a little bit, but I do have my, like I said, I made sure my skulls were up and my eyeballs were up. But we also have this really fun little skull stamp in our sticker pack for our Hide and Eek collection. Grab one of your little foam squares again. Like I said, I'm having a market run on little foam squares. I miss the old foam squares that you got an entire sheet of just little foam squares. I'm going to have to maybe check Amazon and see if they have just little ones maybe coming up too. There we go. Okay, so our little skull's going in the center right there. So that's kind of our left side of our page. So far, it's coming together. What do y'all think? So again, this one, it's kind of giving me more options with the mats. They had, I think, 6 4x4 photos in theirs. And we could still fit 6 4x4 because I did do it 8.5 by 12. I don't know what their base was. Let me double check the sketch real quick. It doesn't actually say. They just did 3/4 by 12s on either. And I think they were just planning to stick their photos in. So this at least gives me a mat to work on. And it also gives me some flexibility when I go to add my photos. Right side of the page is coming in. And so remember how I said I used the same page on my bat layout? This is kind of like my Noteworthy Days collection where I had just enough left to squeak out 2 pages for you all and add these little elements to kind of give an idea for mats. Let's see. Okay, yep, that's where my little ghosty is going. And so here we go. This is where I have my bats already on at the corner because, like I said, it took a little bit of time to get those all placed down. I'm going to go ahead and just start adding some tape runner to my circle right away. This is the I don't know. Why am I blanking out on the word? And if you tell me I can't see it because I don't have the comments open, I will answer any questions at the end. I am so sorry. Somehow I hit the wrong button when I went live. Like I said, it, feels a little bit like a Monday, but I know it's not. And when I cut my circle for this layout, I did cut it a little bit more to the right. You can see where it is, more towards the right. That right end edge of my circle is definitely smaller. I am working over white shimmer paper because so this is brown shimmer going over white shimmer. And I'm going to just start at the bottom again because I don't know why. I think we just naturally ebb towards the top. And it just doesn't always work out for us. Okay, come on. Bottom corner, get you lined up. Stop sticking. There we go. Huzzah. And bottom corner lined up, maybe. And what inspired me was a full moon. Because I thought, this is a Halloween layout. And I just thought this would be kind of cool as a, with the white shimmer because it gives that effect of it being a full moon on our page. So I opted to go with white bats. I don't know if they're albino bats or not, or if they've just gotten washed out by the moon. Tell whatever story you want to tell. You can do black bats. I mean, you probably don't want to do brown bats. I mean, maybe with the hot fudge might show up on the brown, but I don't know. Now, I also had a small strip that was 1/8 of an inch that I cut off when I was cutting the skulls. So that is going down right here on this left edge of my right side of my page. Next to it, I am going to place down my other bat and stars from the white shimmer cardstock. And again, I just like the contrast with the white and the brown and the blue. I've always loved how blue and brown goes together, and it just not my traditional Halloween layout. I think the bat page is more my traditional Halloween layout, but this one, it's a little less traditional, but I think it still works. Okay, what did Catherine have left from this page? I had a little box with little eyes. So this was 1.75 inches by 7/8 of an inch is basically what I had left from when I got done cutting probably my bow, I think, actually, because of the way the skulls are running on it. And then I also have this Chills and Thrills, and I do have my little ghosty that had gotten stuck to the other side, so it's a good thing I wasn't looking for that. I also had one last 3/4 inch strip. So what I did was I went ahead and I cut it at 6 inches, and then I cut it at 3 inches twice. So we're going to go ahead and again just add a little tape runner. These are going to be our kind of our photo edges, if you will. I mean, it's, I guess sometimes you put those photo corners on. Instead of putting photo corners on, we're just putting little reminders of where they can go on our page in a little bit more of a decorative way. So our first one is going to come in from the top here. And again, this is also a homage to the actual sketch as well. Believe it or not, I'm following the sketch, kind of. I'll show you in a minute. You'll see. Hey, Catherine kind of followed the sketch. This one is coming in from down here, so a little bit lower. And finally, our third one is over here, inside our circle, inside our moon a bit. Okay. Our Chills and Thrills is actually going underneath our corner of our brown shimmer cardstock here with our bat coming out. So I'm just going to lift on that just a little bit. We still want to be able to read the chills, but our little bat wing is going to come over it a bit too. So that's just going in there like that. Our eyeballs are going on here. That also brings in the other side of the page. And then our ghosty is going to come up. This one's going to get popped up. Okay, so let me figure out where my little ghosty is going to go. He's coming in over here. This is going here. Okay, so we will have a little bit of white space from our moon showing as well. Or what I'm calling our full moon anyways. And then one more foam square. Oops. And I think I will get my powder going on this one because just in case, well, no, because that's not going to need the powder. It's going to be far enough in the corner. Never mind, no powder. Just had the powder on the one today. This guy is coming in over here. Kind of surprised at all of the bats getting drawn to the moon as well. All right. There we go. Y'all made it. We finished up the fourth layout. Thank you so much again for watching and sticking with me this morning. Here's the right side of our page up close. Now that it's done, and I'll bring in the other side. We'll bring in some photo mats, we'll bring in the sketch, and then I will get back on to wrap things up for y'all. There's that. And so here's our sketch. You can see where they show a 4x6 photo going here, and then, a couple of smaller photos coming in closer to our, where I put our border. And then you can easily journal down here as well, either on the white or again, get your white Jelly Roll pen and just journal on your brown shimmer as well. Left side of the page, we have our more solid mat and the little bow. Like I said, I don't know. I just saw this and I thought that just says we need a bow on this page. What can I say? We have our other bats coming in. And let's find some photo mats real quick. I've got to turn it 4x6 because remember we have a 6-inch. You can easily put it even next to the skulls so you can see the skulls if you want. If you want to cover them up and just have that little blue stripe showing, you can do it that way too. It's your photos, your world. Here we'll cover up that one too. You can easily get another larger photo down here, but you will need a smaller photo coming in from here. So maybe one of your, where did I have that other card? Here we are, four 3x4. If you do it this way, you're going to want to go this way with a little 3x4. Apparently this one is crooked just a hair, but that's okay. We're still getting photos on the page. It's working. So now over here on our left side, you can go with some of your larger photos as well. You can easily put 3 on here, or you can bring in your 4x4s and do 6 of them if you want through the page, just like they show you in the sketch. It's going to have to go under the bow a little bit, but that's okay. So easily you can definitely get your 6 4x4 running through the top of the page as well. Whew, okay, we are done. Can you believe it? October virtual crop sketches are complete. Let me come on and see if I can actually do this without messing something else up. Hopefully I don't lose you all. All right, we made it. I'm still here. I'm kind of worn out a little bit. I should have worn my Halloween shirt for this month, or maybe Christmas. We had a little bit of everything today. How's about that? I hope you all enjoyed checking out my interpretations for the Creative Memories October virtual crop. And I will link in the description box the couple other videos I talked about, as well as a couple of the products I used. And go ahead, leave me a comment. Let me know if you guys would like to see any of the tool demos I talked about as well coming up. I hope you enjoyed seeing Border Maker cartridges in every single layout. Keep an eye on my community tab of my YouTube channel, because I think I gave you all a little sneak peek of what's coming next week, Monday already. If you watched or read last week's, you will know a little bit about what's coming already this coming Monday too. And it's my extra homage to the Border Maker. So I will see you all next time.